You for joining us today on a sad, uh, really crappy day, a rainy day, and it's actually perfect because always when it's raining, it's always sad somehow, some reason. Everybody finds a reason. But today we lost a legend, a historical comic legend, an artist and a writer, George Perez. Passed away today, a couple of hours ago, and I think I saw it from DC that they posted on Instagram, everywhere in the social medias, that George Perez has passed away, and I immediately told Joey here,
It's I often don't get really bummed out when certain people pass away, but I guess because of growing up in comic books and always getting a look at a lot of the comic book artists from back, the 70s, 80s, and as they get older, it's think they pass away. It's but he was going through something, and we know very little about. But right now, we're gonna celebrate the artwork that he has given us. I mean, it's like our childhood. Is our childhood is just slowly removed from us. Like Neil Adams as well, who passed away recently, sort of gave us a lot of art that till this day that he's remembered by. You know, from the TikTok video that Jose did, he mentioned very powerful art pieces that he did that we remember him by like the fight between Muhammad Ali and Superman, Superman breaking the kryptonite chain, the artwork for Green Lantern and Green Arrow. It was like those, that was childhood right there. So we kind of remember that because those are just pivotal moments that bring us to such a take us back, like back in time. And George Perez was one of them. You know, it's one of the books right now that people still are, that people connect with and people love are reading is in Crisis of Infinite Earths, which is a very pivotal moment that changed uh, uh, um, the DC universe forever. And from then on, it altered a lot of characters, and the beautifully structured artwork that was in it, some vibrant colors and the use of characters in every single, he was able to sort of, you know give us a personality in within the artwork, and it's in the way he stylized each of the characters. And one popular book right now that they decided to print was the Avengers and Justice League comic, which is the store shelves right now because they decided to do it in respects for George Perez, and it's a pretty thick book. But yeah, I believe it's worth the price.
revolutionized a lot of the characters. I think he wrote and was really. I think it was inspiring for him to really focus on Wonder Woman and kind of like bring that character. I wouldn't say from the dead, but I would say like it wasn't selling as much, even though she was part of the Trinity. Other comics were kind of like, I think Marvel was at its height at that time too, so they kind of like brought. Tackled it. He was like, I have stories for her, and I can do the art. Just give me the chance. And he tackled it with, I forgot her name. I think it was Sharon or Patricia. I don't remember her name as the anchor later on. But yeah, I mean, and then and one of many favorites is the Infinity Gauntlet, um, and even working on Crisis on Infinite Earth. Really, I'm so
Mean,
mad that
most of his artwork and most of his the stuff he's drawn is because is most of the movies that we see right now is because of what he did. Especially the Infinity Gauntlet. We started in when Infinity War came out. That was all George Perez is you know artwork was there. There was, he created, you know, like these great character designs and these beautiful images. One particular image that I remember is when they show the stones at each gem, and it's telling you like which was space and mind and all these things, and then that's like, and Thanos is discussing and talking about how he's able to snap his fingers, and just there was just these beautiful, beautiful colors. And to be honest, to this day, I'm still dumbfounded by the artwork from back in the day. And I feel like, yeah, we can touch on the new art and how advanced it is because everything is now done digitally through computer. But these, George Perez, Neil Adams, they were hitting on with pencil and paper and ink and rulers and all these things. They were like, it's right now it's becoming an old art style that no one's really touching because everybody's going straight to digital. But still, there's artists out there that still do things with pencil. They like Alex Ross, he doesn't even do digital. He does straight painting. He uses brushes, he uses inks and all these things. And George Perez, Neil Adams, even Adam Kubert, who's still around, is still drawing, pencil and paper with comic book cardboard to this day. So that's a style that it's still enjoyable to see because that's a very difficult skill to master, to be able to get into, still working on pencil and paper, compared to how digital is. Things could be flipped in digital now. They don't have to, I have to make this character be on the left. All they have to do is just alter it and change it by some buttons, and the character's on the left. They had to they had to put like so much work into it to make sure they did not screw up and make sure everything was at a certain structured well for comic books to be able to be understood through in the comic book industry.
Yeah, it's really sad to see him go. And I mean, he was still drawing when he told us. I think in November he told no, October or November. He tweeted out that he had stage 4 cancer and that his doctor really told him that it was a terminal. So everybody was like shocked, but he was still working, kind of doing some prints here and there. I know he was one of those artists that also started to stream, I think, or post more videos
Oh,
about him. I don't know if it was him or maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But there was a lot of people, like a lot of artists that started doing that. Um, Streaming. Yeah. Our thoughts are with you, with your family, and we're just really sad that you know he's passed. But
yeah, there's a lot of artists out there that we still, that Jose still haven't touched based on, and there's some stuff that I've wanted to do as well, that we'll get to eventually. Um, but it's kind of sad because it's these older artists, are still remembered for the impact they made. Uh, for example, Kirby. Kirby is the way he was doing the Eternals, the way he designed the characters. I mean, he's responsible for designing
the new gods,
yeah, the New Gods. He's
and
responsible for
and look at
Thanos
and
and
look what's happening in
Darkseid.
like Young Justice, and we're getting like a little bit of the new gods in that, you know, and we
Yeah,
get to see
exactly. So it's like
Superworld and New Genesis.
yeah, he's made a huge impact that there's characters that are still being used by this day. He's created massive characters. Sometimes characters often bleep out and we don't see them again. But but you know, again, Kirby ended up bringing characters that still to this day they're still writing stories about, and we got Thanos to thank because and Darkseid. which is that's why there was always a comparison between the two, and it was also they were created by the same artists,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy. That there was always like why they're all similar. And it's like, well, they were both designed by the same artist. There's a similarity there because of that, but different personalities, and there's a different perspective on how they want to rule the world and everything. So it's like very different, but done by the same artists. But again, it's like a lot of artists is, it's sad. We there was we right now we have Frank Miller, who's you know for what I've seen, he doesn't seem like he's doing very well, but he is still drawing and he's still making an impact. What was his last writing? He did the Master Race, Dark Knight Returns Master Race, and he also did if I'm mistaken, what's the name of the comic book? If it's the Golden Child, or the Golden something that came out. That came out sort of like after the Dark Knight Returns. It was a really short, like it was just one issue that he did. But yeah, he's still drawing and he's still doing his things, and we kind of have to like look at some point as we lose these artists, as they, it get it, a lot of those comics that they have drawn that made a huge impact on us, like Frank Miller's Sin City. What else has he done? 300, all the Dark Knight Returns series. That we have to hold on to that, because it's we'll remember him for what he did, and and I don't want him to go too soon, because we're already losing a couple of artists, and it's one of those things that it's they kind of made a shift in the comic book industry. So it's like it changed a lot. A lot of new age artists right now are remembering them, and they are inspired by these huge artists from back in the day, that they're still, like if I see sort of how George Jimenez does his sort of Justice League design, there's a vibrant, colorful, they're vibrant and very colorful. And I see like a little bit of what George Perez was throwing out back then, and how colorful these characters were when he was designing Superman and or his Flash or his Joker and everything. There was just very beautiful colors, and you could see like they made a huge impact on a lot of these artists from now.
I I don't know. I'm still shocked by it, so I'm still like, I don't have any words to say other than it's a huge it's a huge impact on the comic world um community today, and it's shocking, honestly. I mean, yes, we were told, but still, it hits. It's still gonna hit you no matter where you are and when you're told. Um, our thoughts are with the family. Indeed, indeed. So because of this episode is due to him, we still want to talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but we're gonna keep everything really happy. We're not gonna be crapping on anybody or anything like that, because I've been seeing a lot of things about it, and I think there's a really I wouldn't say big divide as Star Wars: The Last Jedi has done in the Star Wars community, because that movie is like a split 50-50, and it still gets hate on and it still gets talked about. Now, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I think, will be talked about, I think, still till next year, maybe. Seeing on what people really thought about this movie. Now, what did we think about this movie? I enjoyed it, and I honestly, I might give it a really high rating, but a 8.5 out of 10 for me, because I really enjoyed this movie. And you saw me. We saw the movie together. I was like, yo, you saw that shit.
No, yeah, we were sort of kind of talking about it, and um, I don't know. No spoilers, right?
No spoilers right
No
now.
spoilers.
We will talk
No
spoilers
spoilers.
in.
No spoilers right now. But I'd say that yeah, I could see both what if for the people that didn't like it and the people that did like it. They have some moments, but then as a person looking at kind of being in the mind of the person who might not like where it's going, you kind of have to see like how there is still so many possibilities because of the multiverse. There's no need for us to feel like, oh, I don't like where this is going. It could still go where people think they might think they're going to. You know, it they could still bring these characters out. Remember, he still has plans to bring out a lot of things, you know, out in the open. You know, from the supposed mention, of course, the trailer, we can't, there's no spoilers here. The mention of, it has been talked about, everybody said it about Patrick Stewart being in the film. Um, and Patrick Stewart's connection to the previous from the X-Men movies. We can't, everyone knows that that's what's implicated into the film, but yet, whatever happens, it's not like he's changing the whole view on what he wants to do. You see that Kevin Feige is still planning on working on X-Men or bringing in the mutants or bringing in more characters. There's still a list. They still have a whole bunch of things that they're bringing out. And it's, and I feel like that, though Doctor Strange felt a little bit off a bit, and I feel like I liked it. I mean, it had his moments that I feel like, oh, it went some weird way, but I think it's just a stepping stone for the future. It's like where it's going. I think it's fine. We've thought about that in most of the other movies that had sequels.
Right.
For example, Iron Man 2 was not as great as the first one, but you can say that it didn't change the path that they were trying to make in the future films. Or Iron Man 3, when they removed the piece out of his chest and now he has his heart back and everything's fine. He has the surgery. So, and everything has, a lot of the films have altered, the films, but I don't know. I don't think there's any change. I think they're trying to evolve Doctor Strange's character. I mean, at the end of this film, you see that there's a major difference to what they're trying to do. I think they want to stay out of the comic and go on with something of their own, still implicating comic book characters, but still try to do something different. Because the one thing is for sure is that they want to make the first film from each of the characters to be sort of connected to the comic book, and then they're kind of like go their way out of the comic book.
Yeah.
One thing's for sure is just that you know they're they're going to piss off and they're going to get a lot more fans out of this, but in the end of the day, you're going to go spend your money to see a film that you might not enjoy at the end, and it's going to make its money, and we're going to see a sequel to it. So
Yeah. So what are your ratings? What do you rate this movie?
I rated what's the rating?
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. All right, I'll give it an 8.
Hmm.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
I to be honest, the Marvel movies that came out, comparing it to what we gave Spider-Man, you know, it's there. It's on 8. I think we gave Spider-Man what, like, did we rate Spider-Man? I
We
think we gave it
rated
a we
Spider-Man, I think a 8 too, maybe a 9 because of nostalgia.
Yeah, I think we rated it pretty high compared to Doctor
Doctor
Strange. I
Strange.
feel like it's a great film, but it's everyone is going to pretty much say that Spider-Man was one of the best Marvel movies coming out this year. But but if you're the type of person that wants to keep this series, this MCU connected and you want to keep watching the films and want to keep following this timeline, I advise you to still watch Doctor Strange. It's gonna blow your mind. The special effects was magnificent. Bringing in a new character like America Chavez into the series really sort of gave us a few of the future of what they're planning to do with these characters, with Miss Marvel coming out and what else? What other characters? And if we're gonna get a young Avengers, we still have Wiccan and Wanda's kids. The possibility of them, coming into the fold of the next Avengers in the future. So there's still so much. There's a Doctor Strange opened the door. There's more to it.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. So I think we should move on to spoilers because spoiler territory is a lot. I mean, and Easter eggs. I think we picked up a lot of Easter eggs while watching the movie. I think most of the Easter eggs were really told to us. And so we had to really pay attention. And at certain points, I think it was kind of hard to hear because people were cheering and everything like that. But that's when it really started to be like, what? I was like, I caught that, but I don't think you caught that, so it was a good thing I told you. Um, but yeah, let's get on to spoilers. So, in the beginning of this movie, we start off from the bat, right? So we got Defender Strange, and he can speak Spanish, talking to America Chavez, and they're fighting. Were they fighting this the weird demon thing? Anyways, and so we are told throughout the movie that Wanda's been controlling or been trying to find America Chavez throughout the multiverse. So she's been using the Fashanti,
No, the Darkhold.
the Darkhold. I'm sorry, the Darkhold
Yes.
to basically use different Wandas throughout the multiverse and kind of like use their powers and everything to find America Chavez.
Yeah, so she was jumping in from dreams, which was also altering her the Darkhold was altering her personality. It was
Indeed,
making her evil.
very very evil.
The more she uses it, the more it starts to sort of alter her personality,
and we
which
really
was
get and we really got to see that in like What If, you know,
yeah.
with Doctor Strange. So people were mad because basically we got to see Wanda still get, I would say, try to build her world through the kids. Now she didn't really what's it called, have kids like that until I don't know the fourth episode, I believe, or the third episode. But that wasn't that wasn't the point. The point was for her to be with Viz in the beginning. Then they have kids in WandaVision. And then and in the end, I mean, it was basically told that Wanda was searching her kids,
Yeah.
searching for her kids, and she had the Darkhold. So the outcome was for Wanda to get the Darkhold. I mean, use the Darkhold to find her kids in the multiverse. People were kind of mad about that because we had to. We had. It was like, oh, again, we have to go through this. I'm like, did you not watch WandaVision? Like, I just don't get it. Like,
Yeah, she
if you
was gonna
placed
go
it,
out and
yeah, if you place it up high of the MCU Marvel shows, then it's like right there. I don't know. Um. Anyways, uh, she went Amber Heard on everybody, and what was the place? Oh my god, I suck with names so bad. The where they ended up fighting everybody when she ended up beating the hell out of everybody.
oh, she went to the Baxter. Was it the Baxter building
No,
in
no, no,
in
not the
in?
Baxter Building. The other one, the other one. When she fought Wong, when she fought Doctor Strange. Um,
The what was it called? Taj.
uh,
What was it
yes.
called? It was called the Taj something. It was the temple where they keep most of the sorcerers where they're getting trained.
Yeah, that place. It's gonna
Yeah,
come
I
to us
think it's
later
in
on.
Tibet. I know it's in. I think it's in Tibet. That's where Doctor Strange was, I believe, trained. They even got people from, I think, from. If it, did we even check if they were from Kunlun?
No, they weren't from Kunlun. They were actually
Okay.
from the other places that that they hold, the sanctorums, the other
Yeah.
sanctorums,
Okay. So the
which
other
was,
sanctorums. All right.
yeah, which was Paris and Hong Kong. I think I told you in the movie. I was like, oh no way, it's not. I thought I heard Kunlun, which would have been big, but then I was like, where's Danny? But yeah, whatever.
Um,
I don't even think did Iron Fist get a second season?
yeah.
Did he go through Kunlun? Did we see anything in Kunlun?
He
Uh,
found out that they were all killed.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But we never, like, we went in, right?
I don't know. I just know he went and checked and then found out they were killed. Because I think it was later on he was told, and then he didn't believe it until he went over there. I think that Asian lady that was pretty much one of the villains in the entire series.
Oh, the
That
hand,
little
yeah,
with the cane.
yeah. Um, Karmatage. There you go. That was the place. And she beat the hell out of everybody. Yeah, and she got a lot of Exorcist. We got to see a lot of Exorcist, a lot of Omen stuff, Poltergeist. Themes in the movie because again, it was supposed to be, I think, rated R.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like hard, tense type of vibe. And we got that, and people didn't like that. Like, I'm just like, it's.
Before we keep on with this, sorry. Remaining meeting time. I got
I
2 minutes.
know. I saw. It's so stupid. Do you have Discord? We should really use Discord.
I don't have Discord, but I'll download it at some point
Yeah,
today, if anything.
yeah. We'll once it hits 1 minute, we'll go crazy.
All right. So what? Let's just brief and going into it. All right. More of the spoilers. We get to find out the Illuminati exists in this in sort of an alternate multiverse in an alternate universe where Baron Mordo is the Sorcerer Supreme and not Doctor Strange. Though Doctor Strange is respected for defeating Thanos, come to find out that the Illuminati, the group that sort of was built, we'll get to find out, was built by Doctor Strange himself, with few members of the Illuminati being some very, very popular Marvel characters that we've seen in the MCU and we also seen in What If. Here's one particular character that comes in when Baron Mortals introduces the Illuminati, and I believe he's a member of it now, because I think he was replaced after Doctor Strange as a member. He We are introduced to Black Bolt, who was a member of leader of the Inhumans, which we got a brief show of it, but didn't it wasn't successful, but they still brought in the actor who portrayed Black Bolt from the series, which was interesting because now they make that show canon. And if it was done in and if it was done by Disney, I'm guarantee you it would have been successful here. And we get introduced to Agent Carter, who became Captain America in the What If series. Then we got introduced to Miss Captain Marvel, but
It's the best
Captain
friend
Marvel wasn't.
of
Yeah,
yeah, I forgot her name. Oh my god. Well, we have a
yeah,
minute, it's less than a minute, so
yeah.
we'll come back. We'll take a
Monica
break.
Rambeau's mother, and from the WandaVision series, and
Okay, never mind.
and then we got introduced to Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four, who was played, and everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody was surprised that it was John Krasinski from The Office and the Quiet Place films. And everybody was expecting as Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards.
Yeah, man. I mean, I fucking screamed. I haven't screamed in a movie theater like that in a while, but that damn, it's such a fan service. I mean, let alone what we got in Spider Man, but this one was just so perfect for so many people because it's like John Krasinski could definitely pull it off. The question is, since Marvel has already announced that Fantastic Four is coming up, this was an experiment to see if people really like John Krasinski as Reed Richards, to see him play as him. And Honestly, I haven't seen Twitter, but I don't think people are talking about it. Well, again, it's just spoilers, so people haven't fully seen it.
Yeah, so
So I
we're
think
gonna
give
wait
it a
for a while. They're gonna
yeah.
wait for a while till the actors start talking. But Charlize Theron, we'll find out at the end of this because end of the movie, the post credit scene, she put "cats out the bag" on her Instagram.
Mhm.
So I don't know if anybody knows what she was implying or if anybody has seen the film yet. But knowing that I've seen the film, and the funny thing is that she was dressed in purple and she put "cats out the bag." Sort of been like, oh, is she throwing like, is she saying that she's in the film, that she's, very popular character in the film. But we'll get to that. Right after we get this whole conversation between the Illuminati and come to find out that Doctor Strange was also using the dark hold to jump from dream to dream. And right after they defeated Thanos, and you get to see a glimpse of Thanos impaled by what seems to be a big, gigantic clock hand, I think, and the gauntlet, which, by the way, was missing one of the gems. Anyway, not all of them were there. Uh,
Oh, that means they probably won before he got the last one.
yeah, he was missing the one in the middle, which I'm pretty sure the one in the
That's
middle is
time.
Vision.
Oh, is it
Vision's
mind?
Yeah, I think it's the gold one that goes right here is the one that's Vision's.
Oh,
So
I
I don't
thought it
think
was.
he ever got
Oh.
to kill Vision in or even if he does exist in this supposed multiverse.
Here's the question: where the hell was White Vision, bro?
I don't know. I would have loved to have seen him at least
Stop.
be
At least,
father
yeah, or at
in that
least,
scene when yeah.
yeah.
So we find out that Black Bolt ended up killing Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange felt that there was betrayal between in the Illuminati, and he was the reason for betraying the Illuminati for using a very powerful book, the Darkhold. And I think it was pretty much it was an execution, but Doctor Strange was, like he wanted it to happen. Seems like he did something wrong, and I guess he was calling out for this execution, which Black Bolt ends up killing him, but just you know how he ends up killing people with just a whisper.
Yeah, it's really sad, and it was good though that if people don't know who Black Bolt was, that we saw a glimpse of like his power, because when he said it, was it Mordor or was it Captain Marvel said, "Oh, he could just speak to you and you'll die within seconds." We
Yeah,
didn't like. I don't think anybody really like. I wanted to see around the movie theater if like anybody was like, "Oh, that's Captain, it's Black Lightning." Did I
Black
just say
Bolt.
Black Lightning? Black Bolt. But I think it was understood when he used his power towards Doctor Strange how crazy powerful he is.
Yeah.
And that was really good to see. You were gonna say something.
Uh, no, I wasn't going to say anything. We still had one more member that needed to come out.
Go ahead.
I will give you the honors because it brought us back to the 90s.
Oh well, we got Professor Charles Xavier, man, and that was the
What
last
was
one.
he riding? What
And
was he riding
he
on?
was riding that yellow freaking wheelchair. Well, not wheelchair, but like was a hover
Yeah,
chair. I would say that was just classic from the '90s, from the '90s cartoon '90s, and they played
and
the
what and
song with
had
the
a theme song.
electric guitar. Oh my
Yeah.
god, bro! I was so happy that they used that. I didn't expect that. But yeah, I completely forgot about it, to be honest with you. Like
Which
for the
reminds me, now that they got the hands on X-Men, if they're bringing the X-Men 90s cartoon back, is it going to be canon because of that particular moment?
You think so?
Because there's, I don't know,
Because
because
they never
they're
said
saying,
anything. You could be right though, because well, I would say only in that universe though,
probably only,
because
yeah, probably only in that universe. But
probably only in that
hmm,
universe that matters now. Which kind of sucks. But we saw the demise of Charles. We saw the demise of everybody. Holy hell, does WandaVision do an Omni Man towards everybody in the
yeah,
Illuminati? And it was pretty
yeah,
gruesome.
yeah. Wanda murdered all of them in an instant. She killed Black Bolt like nothing. Like she, I mean, again, Black Bolt has the ability to easily just throw like a uh,
Whisper.
sonic wave out of his mouth and easily just kill you. And if there's any event that you would like to see that he used his powers to his full potential, was in World War Hulk,
And that
where
man
he
just ate
literally was
that.
trying to kill the Hulk with all that he's had. So it's like even a whisper could pretty much destroy you. And if you ever get the chance, you might not enjoy the show, but I think it's in Disney Plus, the Inhumans TV show that lasted for only a couple of episodes. You'll
Is
get an
it?
idea of how powerful he is in that show. But yeah, he ended up Wanda ended up killing Black Bolt, ended up killing Mr. Fantastic's Reed Richards, ended up killing Agent Carter, and ended up killing Captain Marvel and Professor Xavier, which he was trying to save her by entering her mind, and she killed him. But though this doesn't change anything in the future because this is an alternate universe, this is a multiverse. So this doesn't change absolutely anything. And I think people were affected by that because they felt like, oh, but this is it. No, they're variants, you know. And in a comic book, and there was also a comic book a Fantastic Four series, but there was many variants of Reed Richards,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
here's the thing. People didn't like that they killed all these cameos because of some sort of like, oh well, that disingenuous or that's in holy hell, I can't speak. That's disingenuine to the characters. Why bringing them for this movie for them just to get killed? And that was kind of the thing of when I even did a video on when I think it was Ultron going to different galaxies and they went to the Nova Corps and instead of getting Nova, I forgot his name, Sam something. We got Captain Marvel, and I said, "Well, you could have had Nova there," and people were mad and said, "Well, why bring a character for them to get killed?" And I'm just like, because it's a what if? It's a multiverse. Who cares? Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
they're
matter.
not
It just plays
they're
around and it's an experiment to see, hey, you know what? People really want this. Let's do it. Like I get it. I understand, but but the man had a infinity gauntlet and destroyed everybody in his universe. It, yeah, Nova's gonna get
it doesn't
destroyed. He's
it
not.
doesn't alter the story. We're still going to get a Fantastic Four.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
And
that's
yes, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get John Krasinski back as Mr. Fantastic.
the
I
question is.
You can see that there's there because for Christ's sake, even in we ended up getting the actor back who portrayed Black Bolt in the TV show. And this is an all multiverse.
And let
They
alone
brought him
like,
back.
yeah, let alone like that series was kind of eh. The casting wasn't too bad.
So it's like you still ended up getting characters. We still, ended up getting a not, Brie Larson, but we ended up getting one of the actresses that could have been Miss Marvel if she would have been when she was in the first film. you
and
know, it
she was
that's the
pretty.
thing about multiverses. Things could change. Certain things could alter time that could affect other characters and in the other. Look at the what if. What happened to T'Challa became the new Star Lord. How different that became. So it's like people need to understand that things could get altered, things could change, and that's how the multiverse works. You could work with all possibilities and change the story completely. And you're gonna still the whole possibility is that you're still gonna go back to what villain are we gonna fight in the end. It's just we're gonna get those characters, and I think and I could see that with the popularity of how John Krasinski with everything, it's gonna and dude, I have him in my Instagram, and I haven't even seen nothing from his part of what any comment or anything like that. So
I
it's
don't know.
this
Um,
was this was a shock to everyone. You
it
know
was, yeah, it
that
was it was kept under quiet really good. I am so happy that they brought him. I like given alone that little scene. I mean, little huge scene with all the Illuminati, everybody that's a part of the Illuminati, and them talking, and their gestures. It was really cool to see John be like, okay, I'm this intelligent. He just comes out, teleports there. Really cool, by the way. I believe that was the Baxter building, though.
what would have been crazy if they would have had Agatha Harkness come in, like because she was part of the Baxter building. She was one of the people that
That's,
worked there.
yeah, took care
The
of the
fantastic.
kids.
It would have been cool just to see her like just be one of those ladies there.
On top, no, 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 no. Her just walking, be like, hey, I got the kids. And they just walk. And we're like, we just see Ben
Yeah,
Franklin. The back of the head, though. That'd be cool. But I love that they name drop. Well, they didn't name drop him, but he did say he had kids, and his wife
yeah.
was there. Um, the question is, who are they gonna cast for the wife? Emily Blunt. Come on, man.
You got to.
You
Oh
have
man,
to, man. This is
The funny thing is
perfect.
that John Krasinski, in no interview did John Krasinski ever get any like questions asked about anything. That he says that he's been called in to work to become Captain America back in the day. After that, there's been no silence where of him becoming a character. And though there was talk amongst everybody because they felt like if you're gonna bring somebody like in if you're gonna bring somebody in to play Reed Richards, we need to bring John Krasinski would be the best. And I mean there was pictures after pictures everywhere. People were doing Photoshop photo of how he would look as Mr. Fantastic and all that stuff. And how great it would be if Emily Blunt played the wife because of their chemistry and their husband and wife. That would work. But this is the first time I felt that fans actually got what they asked for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. And for them to lose like that it shows how stupidly strong and powerful Scarlet Witch is. Wanda.
And well, more of the spoilers.
And I think that was the point though, because everybody says she alters everybody's mind or alters the world and everything, and it's like, yeah, that I wanted to see that. We got to kind of see that where in the beginning, where she completely fooled the shit out of Doctor Strange, when he really thought, oh, this is this flower, and it smelled. This man smelled it and said, oh yeah, and he believed it. That's how strong she is, powerful she is. And so
Yeah,
then her beating the hell out of the Illuminati, and people say that she's not that powerful. Yeah, this movie just it like destroyed it.
oh no, she's powerful. It's
Yeah.
just they, to be honest, they had there was characters there that were not. I don't think they were like very formidable to even fight her.
Oh,
Like it was
Captain Carter, no.
Yeah, I feel like they weren't as powerful. There was no one there that she could. I mean, Mr. Fantastic is a genius and he's smart, but his stretching ability, there's a limitation to that. And she freaking, turn him into like shreds of freaking like freaking
Threads,
pasta.
and then
And
man got
in Black Bolt, the only ability that he has is his voice. She only had to tell him is like it
well,
just cover
he's
his mouth,
yeah, that's true.
and then he blew himself up,
I think that
and
was the most savage one of them all.
yeah,
Like
and
that
I
one
think
was so
I mean
unexpected.
Miss Marvel had could have taken her, but she was also arrogant in it and very cocky. Like I could take her, I have this, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. What was going to happen to you?" I felt it already that she was going to get it
I
because
thought she was still alive
somebody as
though.
arrogant as her was going to get it.
I thought she was
Uh,
still alive though. I think she was just knocked unconscious.
Probably, but then she sort of what's the word, pussied out at that moment instead of just getting up and just going after her again. Just killed one of the most powerful freaking mutants right there, and well, technically, not really powerful if we're still considering Professor X in this multiverse, in this universe, and Scarlet Witch as a mutant, which still has not been mentioned, or that
That is
word has not been thrown
true.
around yet.
Yeah.
So
But we already know. And
with
okay,
that,
so here's the main thing. When Reed Richards, John Krasinski said, yeah, I'm part of the Fantastic Four. Doctor Strange. When everybody was cheering, I heard that Doctor Strange said, "Oh, the family from the '60s." Now the '60s is interesting because then that means that they were there the whole time, which means did Tony Stark buy the tower from the Baxters? Maybe. I don't know. Now we gotta go check. That'd be interesting. But yeah, I think that. And didn't they debut in the comics in the '60s?
uh, they were one of the first comics from Marvel. Actually, no, that was under the Atlas banner. It was later became Marvel.
Yeah, 1961.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And another character from the '60s, Blue Marvel. Got
Yeah.
America Chavez. You got Blue Marvel do the Ultimates, but they're not gonna do Blue Marvel because it's just way too. It's just an OP character. I think they might not even do the other guy. Not Nuclear Man. Hyperion.
Yeah, he's pretty powerful. But
Yeah.
let's see, because there's so much possibilities there, especially with the whole idea of like mental illness being a sort of thing. And I feel like they really tackled that in most of the shows, like WandaVision's grief and Moon Knight's split personality. And if they do Hyperion, they could tackle that on the show and make it more understandable. Even in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we got the idea, him going to therapy and trying to find himself and all these things. I think a show Hyperion could only be it could be touched on the show, and we will not get that much in from a movie, because we got that from a movie. We're gonna get less of him, and we're gonna get more of all the other characters and villains and whoever it is. If they do a show, then we're more focused on him and him building as a character. So I think a show about Hyperion would be much better than a show about a movie about him, because they could tackle that, like that split personality and mental illness and dealing with that, and in his human aspect and superhero aspect and all that stuff. That would be good.
Yeah. All right, we got to move on from the Illuminati because I think we talked about them too much.
Oh yeah,
Um,
but I think after that we don't get that much spoilers. We get to see a little bit of we get to understand a little bit more of America Chavez's powers, even though she jumps from multiverse to multiverse because with her abilities, but she doesn't know how to control it. And at some point, she sort of uses that to defeat Scarlet Witch and sort of puts her in a position to sort of see that she's screwing up badly. And though she's trying to save her kid, trying to bring her kids back, she's willing to go into another world where she's willing to take the kids from an alternate version of herself and not get the kids that she actually had in the world that she created in WandaVision. and I guess it shows, it shows her that she screws up. She did badly, and from now on out, we don't get a lot of spoilers. I think it sort of changes. It just we just get a sort of our characters begin to grow. America Chavez begins to grow, and you could understand she starts to train with the sorcerers and how to use her ability and how
I
to.
enjoyed her character a lot. I think
Yeah,
she was really good in the beginning. She got me with the way and everything with the doctor
yeah, no,
talking to
that
Doctor
that was
Strange.
funny.
Yeah,
I felt like that was really cool. Like I enjoy that they're doing a lot of putting a lot of diverse characters into the Marvel universe and to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's really cool. The thing is that sometimes I'm just thinking like how people start complaining and crying about the diversity that doesn't exist in certain comic books and certain things, but we never get a chance to, like for example, there's like, oh, there's too many white characters in this series. We need somebody that's Hispanic, somebody that's black. I said, well, you guys are not watching it, and so how are we going to get high ratings to even get characters that we need, because we get canceled, the shows get canceled quick, or movies don't get the opportunity to get there because people are just like, oh, this is not what we want. We can't make anybody happy. I mean, it's like when a person says we should do it this way and another person says we should do it this way, and there's one in the middle trying to figure out how should we do it. They're not going to be satisfied by what decision she makes. And that's how it is in the comic book industry and making and movies. Kevin Feige just be like, this is what we need to do. This is what is going to happen. This is what it is. Nobody accept it. Whatever. The movie's been made, and that's how it is. And that's the thing, that we don't get a lot of black characters. Look at that. We could have gotten Jon Stewart in Snyder's Justice League. And what happened? They didn't want another freaking black guy in the damn thing, because they already had Martian Manhunter actor and they had a Cyborg. But it would have opened the possibility of a future series of movies with Green Lantern.
well,
And
look at the and it's kind of weird and kind of like they didn't take that route, but then now they just released a trailer I think 3 days ago about animated movie with Green Lantern John Stewart.
actually, yeah, I saw that trailer. It looks pretty interesting. I think
It,
they're definitely trying to collect a new universe.
yeah, they're
They're
doing a
using the
new
bat.
universe. It seems like it's the Superman the movie that they did a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think what, the one with Lobo.
Don't remember actually. Was it or was it Brainiac? No, it wasn't Unbound. That was like years ago.
No, I think it was. I think Lobo was in it. It was a Superman, but I think Lobo was in it at some point. I
Okay,
think he also fought
Brainiac.
Parasite in it.
Oh, Parasite. There you go, Parasite. Yes.
Yeah. And then they wanted. Then when they did the Batman Long Halloween, they're
With
connecting that to a series of cartoons, because what was it? Green Arrow and Flash came at the end.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that Flash was also connected to that World War past meeting
Which
Wonder
was a good
Woman from the
movie, by the
past.
way. I enjoyed it. The
And
World War
then there
II
was,
Justice League Society.
yeah, but the thing is what's wrong with that? They didn't include Alan Scott, who was one of the founding members of the freaking
That's
Justice
true.
Society.
Yeah.
And then there was and right now with that John Stewart. So I think they're trying to connect that with what they did with the new 52 storyline with all of those. And I think they sort of trying to like build things and put it together. So I want to see what they're doing with this series of films, because they're enjoyable.
Indeed. Indeed.
But back to the film.
Back to the film. Uh yeah, I really do like America Chavez. Wanda, I think. You know, it's funny, somebody posted a lot of the this Marvel stuff right now. At the end, it's really the so-called hero that really finds himself and either is about to become a villain or is a villain or something of some sort. but they don't rely on somebody else. They rely on themselves. So they posted pictures of everybody. So Moon Knight was really Steven and Mark hugging each other.
Yeah.
You got Wanda, making sure that Wanda understands that she's wrong. You can't just take another Wanda's kids. Like that, she's probably going to do the same thing you're doing. Um, and then you got three Peters hugging each other because they're the same person,
Yeah.
which is funny because that's really true. You first got to find yourself and love yourself, and then you could be part of a team.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
everybody goes through that route. So morals, man, really teaching you something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay. So at the end of the movie, Wanda realizes that she's in the wrong by another Wanda, because you can't just take away her kids. And that leaves to America Chavez taking back. Oh yeah, we didn't even get to the talk with the 616 universe.
yes, it was brought up because the 616 universe is pretty much the universe that all the Marvel characters are out in. There's different multiverses, and we get to see that. Like you get to hear it a lot in the Spider-Verse comic book. You find out that our main Peter Parker that we've been following since God knows how long is the 616 universe, compared to everybody else who's in a different universe has different numbers. So yeah, 6 1. They sort of throw a hint like that's the universe that Doctor Strange is, which is the universe where all the Marvel characters are in, and then there's the multiverses where everyone has a number, which is pretty cool. And they do that too with DC as well. They throw in some numbers. They did that with Crisis of Infinite Earths TV show when they sort of every time they were in a different place, they would add a number. So all the planets are by numbers.
Yeah,
There's Earth Prime in DC universe, and then everything else is just numbers.
yeah, it's like Earth Prime, and then Earth One is like the first couple of years, but it's still the kind of technically the same. Then Earth Two is
Yeah,
like the alternatives, while Earth Three is all reverse, and so on and so forth.
yeah,
So it was very interesting. Now it's not the 951 something. It's the 616. It's very
yeah.
interesting what they're doing. I don't know if people like it. I don't know if people want to go there or anything like that. I saw a
I
couple
think it was.
comments though, but
I don't think it matters actually. I don't think
but
it
the,
should matter.
but what was the universe that Doctor Strange found out that Benedict Cumberbatch is playing him in a movie? Was it the 616 or was it the Ultimate Universe?
I have no idea. Sounds like
Hmm.
a Deadpool problem, man. Sounds like a Deadpool issue.
No, I think it was the Ultimate Universe.
Hmm.
Because the Ultimate
Oh,
Universe was like all like Samuel Jackson should play me, everything like that. So I think it was the Ultimate Universe. Somebody will let me know. Um, and then so at the end, Doctor Strange comes out. He's wearing a suit, walks down the street, starts to scream, and this third eyeball comes out, meaning that the
yes,
dark
which
hold is within him.
yes, because he used a dark hole that he stole. He stole from an alternate version of himself that used a dark hole that pretty much destroyed his entire planet. And so we are now during that time we was assuming like is this the what if version of Doctor Strange, but I think it's another version who did sort of committed that same atrocity. He did the exact same thing, took the dark hold, took it for himself, and his world got destroyed and altered, and things got messed up.
Yeah, so I
And
don't think this is the one that we saw from What If. As I was telling you, I think
yeah,
this was because throughout the whole talking or dialogue, he didn't mention that he kept going back in time. What the hell did he mention?
He
Forgot.
didn't mention it, but he said because he lost her too. So he was trying to fix that.
Huh. But it was
Know
something
that.
yeah, but the way he phrased it made me think it wasn't him. It was a different him. Like it was him, but he didn't go back in time.
No, I would understand because it felt like it was mostly an evil version because the other one, yet he did commit the atrocity by altering all of time and all this stuff to try to and become powerful to try to save her. He was one of the good guys at the end of What If. So, I feel like this we'll probably see it in What If what happened to him if that's the same one. But it must have had people thinking that that's him. If people did see What If and saw him as that's the one that's from the show, but a lot of the things he says in conversation doesn't point towards that direction of him being that one from What If. So it's like it's a little bit up there, but let's see what people talk about, or if Kevin Feige or the writers say, "Hey, no, he's that person."
Yeah.
So let's see. So he stole the Darkhold from him and decided to use it to jump into a person's dream. Come to find out, he ends up jumping in and bringing back to life a zombie, a sort of dead version of himself, the Defenders version from when the movie begins. He gets killed. This Defender version gets killed, and they bury him somewhere on top of the roof of this Sanctum Sanctorum. And in there, he ends up using his body to go into the temple where Wanda is at, a temple which was specifically made for her because she's sort of how do you say, a sort of goddess of some sort that they worship the Scarlet Witch. Which is funny because the Scarlet Witch had also the statues, and you could see the in of her sons, meaning that did it. And it confuses me there. There was Scarlet Witch worshippers, and they were waiting for her. For some strange reason, they knew about her children as well. They built this amazing temple for her, which she started using because she wanted to use America Chavez's abilities and take it from her. Also, that would have killed her, and use it to go through different multiverses to steal, to take her kids back. Um, so, long story short, where I left off Jose and what happens to him at the end, uh, because of him using the Darkhold for only that couple of minutes to save America Chavez. Jose, take it from here.
Wait, so going back to wait, I gotta go back to Wanda. So Wanda, it's funny because she said that that place was her throne. No, they said it was her. It was her deathbed or anything like that. What was it? Her casket or something. Like that's where she was buried, or the Scarlet Witch. That's where you would get enormous power. But it's funny because she said her throne, but then it was her demise because she dies she she doesn't technically die. I don't think she doesn't really die, but she destroys the Darkhold, and then you see like a blue, red thing come out, kind of like the her powers.
Yeah.
But I think that was just her. I don't know. I don't think she died. You can't have one. You can't have Scarlet Witch and just like end it like that. I think she's gonna come back, maybe in the future. Plus, you still got White Vision, so that story still goes. Um, but where were you at? I'm sorry, I completely forgot.
I left you at how he gets his eye and freaking head. That when you was about to say that spoiler about him getting walking in the street in the suit, and then he was gonna get scream in agony.
Yeah, he's screaming in agony, and so he
Yeah.
has the Darkhold within him. And then later in the next scene, After that credit scene. No, not that. Before the end credit scene and the end credit scene, the first one. We see Clea, which is played by Charlize Theron or Theron. I don't know how you pronounce
Darren.
it, Theron. But she is Clea is a character in the comics where she is the wife of Doctor Strange. And she's related to Dormammu because Dormammu is her uncle. Because
Mm.
she hails from the dark dimension.
When she opened that, I did get Dormammu vibes
Oh yeah,
in
that
that
was yeah.
background.
They went to the dark dimension, and then they had. I believe it was for them to fix the incursions that happen in the
Yeah.
multiverse. Which is funny because that happens in the multiverse. And that's how like what was it? It wasn't. Was it Secret Wars or was it something else?
Wow.
In the comics, the worlds were kind of coming together, and you see like worlds get destroyed, but the 616 and the Marvel were like there. And we started to see that, but I don't remember what the story was called. I think it was like Secret Wars. I don't know. We're really bad right now with the names. Did we tell you that? But anyways, that's what happens, and I did like that she sliced through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, later on in the comic, she does become the Sorcerer Supreme, which is very interesting because then Doctor Strange did have that title, but then he died, and then Wong came back, so Wong technically gets it, even though they both died. Did they both die? No, actually, because Wong was alive the whole time. So Doctor Strange goes through that. So then if Wong dies, then this woman gets it. I don't want Wong to die, man.
No, Wong
I
is
would,
fun. I enjoy Wong. Wong is
yeah,
cool.
man. I was mad nervous when he was with Wanda because I'm like, please don't kill him, please don't kill him. In my mind, I was like, no, we need this character. I need this character. Wong is Wong, man.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but I think that leads to Doctor Strange 3. I don't think we're gonna see Clea and Strange in the future. I mean, we will see Clea and Strange in the future, but not with other Avengers or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, until maybe something happens, which is cool because now Charlize Theron is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which I was
Yes.
asking, we were talking about it. I was like, who else do you think is gonna join? And look at who joined. You know.
No, we're getting heavy hitter actors right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, who else is gonna join? Everyone was saying that Daniel Radcliffe was gonna join. And
I wouldn't mind Daniel Radcliffe right now. Zac Efron says he wouldn't mind joining into the Marvel Cinematic
hey,
Universe.
man, Johnny, that's lit. Who would play Ben Grimm? I don't know. You know who would be nice? The guy that was in never seen like the Game of Thrones, but he was a big guy. He's a power lifter, Thor something.
Damn, I forgot his name.
That
Oh
man could
man, no.
probably play. Yeah, I could see that. Definitely see that.
Well, since we only
He's
got less than 1 minute again with this, let's try to say our goodbyes
yeah,
because right now
we're not gonna make it. Like it's gonna
we're
end.
not
So
gonna. So as soon as this gets killed off, I would like to say have a good night and actually